Welcome to Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane Kinderwater. It's a topic we talk about on this program. You've seen it in the newspaper, you hear it on the radio programs. Kind of can't get away from it, especially if you're driving around Central Avenue in Albuquerque or a lot of streets. We see a lot of homeless people in our community. Well, homeless means they don't have a home. They're living on the streets. Well, if they want to get out of the elements, because we know in the winter we can get windy and cold, and in the summer we've been getting especially hot, how do they get out of those elements and have some comfort? Well, there is a place that they can go around Zuni Avenue and around San Mateo area. It's like they're home away from home for an hour or two, just to rest and relax and go to maybe one of your favorite places in your homes. Go to a living room. It's a living room setting for people, for anybody who is seeking some support, some fellowship, and perhaps a meal, something to eat, maybe a case manager, or maybe just to watch TV. I'm not sure if they're watching Issues and Answers, but just a support of some kind, to know that they're cared about and to know that a living room is their favorite place to go, because the county, Bernalillo County, is offering a living room to people who have behavioral health crises. Maybe they're needing some escalation of a crisis. They can go and seek some help. It's called the Adan Carriaga Living Room Center, and that's at the Care Center here in Bernalillo County. We're going to talk about that living room center and living room for people who need some support and need some comfort. So stay with us as we discuss the Adan Carriaga Living Room Center. We'll be back right after this. We're talking about some of our favorite places in a home, the living room. Well, if you don't have a home, there is a home with a living room for you. Actually, it's just the living room. It's called the Adan Carriaga Living Room Center. It's at the Care Center for Bernalillo County, which is around Zuni and San Mateo area. And we're going to talk about that today with Azalea Echeverria Alcala, yes, who's the program supervisor with the Department of Behavioral Health, and Rosa Sunshine Bias, who is a certified peer support worker, certified veteran peer support for the Adan Carriaga Living Room Program. Thank you for both being a part of the program and for working on behalf of us. I mean, you're civil servants, you're providing services in our community on behalf of the taxpayers who pay for those services, and we appreciate it. And you feel you're keeping the society a little safer.
Yes.
Rosa?
Yes, definitely we are.
And you're having fun with it because you get to invite people into your quote-unquote living room.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, it's a nationally recognized model. You've won awards for this. But again, the idea is to offer people who perhaps live on the streets a place to have a little bit of respite.
Right. So we get a number of people coming in. I think since January of this year, we've had about 3,600 approximately, and people entering there. It's, I think, about 800 individuals, but about that number of visits. They can come in, we offer case management services, we give snacks, they can come in and get out of the elements. So again, like you said, during the winter when it's really cold outside, we have a nice fireplace and a big screen TV for people to kind of just hang out and watch TV and get out of the elements for a while. Again, we can offer case management services, helping people get into different rehab programs. We help people with resumes. We help people apply for Medicaid. And if it's a resource that they're needing that we don't offer, we find out where the resource is and we send them to that spot.
So they hear about this word of mouth? How do they find out? Are they just walk by? How do they know about this program?
So we do have commercials that run and so that they know about it. But a lot of it is word of mouth, yes. So someone will come in, they love the environment, so they tell their friends, oh, let's go hang out at the living room. Oh, let's go to the living room. There's some cool people there we can talk to, get some help and all that stuff. Yeah.
No drug dealing, though?
Oh, no.
No.
No alcohol use,
No.
I imagine. A lot of the centers have this. But just an hour, tell me about an hour or two they're able to come in?
Yeah,
What's the idea? What's the whole idea behind it?
So we try to limit it to an hour. However, there are clients that come in and they're trying to get into our 24-hour program, or they've been sent there.
What's your 24-hour program?
So it's our ONA program, which I don't know if she went into, but she could probably get into that better.
What does that mean, ONA?
Observation and assessment. So it's one of the many programs we offer at Care Campus. So it's somewhere for them to, like a holding place for them to wait to go into detox, or somewhere for them to just be observed for their safety.
And it's their choice
Yes.
to go there.
Yes.
And do people choose to do that?
Oh, yes.
Tell me an example of that.
So an individual, they say they just used, and they're like, I'm feeling weird, I'm feeling funny, but they don't want to go to a hospital. Well, we do have nurses on staff who are contracted through UNM, so they can come and go into our observation assessment, and we do 15-minute bed checks on them, make sure that they're okay, and just monitoring them for their safety.
For 24 hours?
Yes.
And then they're released?
Yes, so then they can go back out. We have case managers in there that'll help them find a shelter, a program to get into, or they can go directly into our detox program.
Or do some just prefer to go back on the streets, and why?
It's all personal preference. Like I said before, our programs are voluntary. So, of course, we're going to try and encourage them to go into detox or get into a crisis unit or find a shelter to go to. That's what those case managers are for. But ultimately, it's up to the client what they want to do.
Most of the people come in, would you say, Rosa, just for a break from the elements, or do they come in and then they are introduced to these other programs?
I'd say probably about 50-50. A lot of them come, and some of them come in right after they've left ONA. If they didn't get into detox, or if they were one of the ones that didn't want to go into detox, they'll come and hang out for an hour or two. And
Because they've learned about you then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They
A lot of word of mouth. We have a lot of people that are word of mouth that come in. Yeah.
So they come in any time of the day? What time?
We're open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And all the people that work in there, as being CPSW, certified peer support workers, we're all in recovery ourselves. So it's kind of a place for them to come, and there's no judgments because we've all been through it ourselves. And so we, just offer them all the resources that we can and try to help people decide when they're ready to get into recovery, because that's a whole decision-making process. It's not something you just jump into. You have to really be contemplating it, and you build up to that. And so people come in, and we encourage that daily. So we see them go through the different phases of wanting to get into detox, and it's good.
But you know the process. That
Yes.
It's not immediate, that it takes a process.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you like to share that we don't understand about your program? That people who haven't been in your shoes.
Oh.
Well, there's probably a lot. No, but truly,
Yeah.
share with us that, there's part of the society out there who are afraid of the
Yeah.
folks they see, are disappointed, are disheartened to see a life kind of wasted on the streets,
Yeah.
begging on the streets.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, and we don't have enough resources in this city. We don't. We absolutely do not. There's a lot of displaced individuals that don't have even a park that they can hang out at. So, there's that, and I don't want to get into that, but since the park that was on 3rd or 2nd was closed, it's displaced a lot of people, so there's no place for them to hang out. And so that's why they've moved into the neighborhoods. Where we come in is trying to give people a safe place to hang out instead of being out on the street and having to, force everybody else to kind of look at the issue. And we're trying to help people figure out how to get through that. Unfortunately, our housing crisis in New Mexico is horrible, so there's not a lot of places to get people into. And so people lose motivation, and that keeps
But
them
I thought
on
a
the
lot
street.
of the programs don't allow any substance abuse. And so that's...
A lot of them don't, but there are sober living homes that, of course, they don't want people actively using there. But unfortunately, people do have hiccups when you're going through recovery, so that's where we come in. You come in, we'll help you get into the detox program, and then in there they will be able to work with another case manager in the building, because we all work in the same building, so we all kind of cross, each other's paths, and we will go from the living room to detox. We all work with each other, so we all have the same end goal to help people get into recovery.
Now, you said you like your job.
Yes.
Tell me why you like your job.
I don't want to cry. Well, I'm in recovery myself, so I know the process. It's very hard to get into recovery when you're fighting that battle, and I can't imagine, I was going through recovery. I had a home to live in. I can't imagine going through trying to even think about getting into recovery, being unhoused, because you've got everybody else doing it. It gets very cold outside at night. Unfortunately, it's sad to say that, when you're using substances, sometimes you don't realize how cold it is outside. So it makes it a little bit, takes the edge off. It just doesn't make it easy to get to get clean when you're out on the street. So that's what we're trying to do. That's the end goal. We're trying to help people get into recovery and get housed.
Do you know statistic-wise or just anecdotally how many people who are abusing drugs want to get out of them?
I'd say the vast majority of them don't want to be in addiction. They don't just do it because they love it. It's hard, and once you've done it, it's hard to get out of it. You feel the pain. It's very painful coming off of substance use. The whole process it's awful.
What are your feelings? Your idea?
I agree with her wholeheartedly. Addiction is something, it's a completely different beast on its own. So having somewhere to go, somewhere safe to go, like the living room, having someone like Sunshine and the other CPSWs to talk to, it goes a long way. And I don't think a lot of people recognize that. A lot of times you want someone who's been through it, who's made it to the other side to talk to you, because then it shows you it's possible. I can do this. They did it. I may have to do it a different way. It may take me a couple times, but I can do it.
Yeah. Do they come in? I mean, do they just want to come in and get warm by the fireplace and watch TV, or do a vast majority like to talk to you about your journey?
Yeah, they talk to us about our journey, but again, like I said, they come in wanting. I think that all of our clients come in wanting to do better, but again, they don't have the resources, and it's hard to do better if you're out there unhoused. So we are there, and we observe a lot of them come in not ready to get clean until the point that they've talked to us enough and been encouraged enough by us to get clean. So it's nice watching that change. It's rewarding.
What have you seen?
Oh, just, like I said, people coming in not at all even prepared to think about getting clean, and it's stages when you're trying to get into recovery. So seeing somebody come in that feels like they have absolutely no hope, and then getting into the detox center, and us getting into a 30-day or 45-day program, and then them following up with intensive outpatient. Oops, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Intensive outpatient, which is, I don't know if you know what that is. We don't offer intensive outpatient, but it's another really important part of recovery. We can refer them to those programs.
These programs, they're paid by the taxpayers or by the individuals?
For our programs at Care Campus, all of our programs are funded. So everything that we do on our campus is completely free to our clients. Our clients will not pay not one dime for our services.
You said detox, the 30-day, 45-day, all of those programs?
Yes. So we have a live-in program called the Supportive Aftercare Program. That's for individuals who are already in recovery. So yes, that program as well is also free.
Where do they live?
On campus. We have apartments on our campus.
Tell me about where the campus is.
It's 5901 Zuni. We're off of Zuni and Valencia. Big building. Everyone knows this is the old Mats building.
The old what?
Mats. Everyone still refers to, oh, Mats, I know that place. But we're called Care Campus now, but yeah, we still go by Mats.
It's a campus of a number of buildings?
We have one building,
Okay.
but our property, we do have a bunch of different departments in it, in different programs.
And you're smiling. You're happy about the successes you've seen.
Yes. Yes. So the thing that we love about our job is we get to connect with these individuals. We get to connect with someone that you probably most likely would not think you would connect with. You have a lot of things in common. You get to know them on a deeper level. You get to know the person aside from the addiction. And being able to see that and see the growth in them, it's amazing.
What would you like to share, if you'd like to share, Rosa Sunshine Bias, with our viewers, with me, who haven't had the struggle of addiction? Well, we've got our own addictions. We've got addictions for a lot of things. There are a lot of, but not necessarily. Well, sugar and caffeine. Our addiction.
Shopping. There's a lot of
there's a lot of addictions. I'm thinking about my behavior. Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
So we do struggle.
Yes, absolutely.
But some of them aren't really life and death.
Right.
What would you like to share with me about, so we understand better the people who we see on the streets?
Okay. So that one's easy for me because, again, like, it looks scary if you don't know those individuals. But people need to realize that addiction does not define a person. You're still the same person you were before you became addicted inside. So everybody that's out there on the street is not a bad person. They're not all there to hurt you. They're not all there to rob you or to steal from you or any of that. And in fact, some of them are the most polite people I've ever met in my life. They're just in an unfortunate situation that's hard to get out of. That'll make me, sorry. It's emotional. I'm the crybaby in my office, so anytime anybody comes in and wants to cry, they send them straight to me. I don't, because it's fun, I guess. But it's that.
And what are you crying about?
Because it's awful that people get judged. I mean, I was there. You get judged as an addict, and you're like the worst person in the world, and you're not. It doesn't define you, and people can get through it with the right help and support.
So it's you're emotional because it's just unfair to be defined as the addiction, and that's why I'm kind of giving you an opportunity to explain your feelings and who you are for those of us who don't understand.
Right. So I mean, you like I said before, there's stages in it, and a lot of us aren't contemplating even getting clean at first, but once we do.
Why do you don't consider it at first?
Oh, I mean, a lot of addicts don't. We feel good in what we're doing. We feel good in the addiction for whatever reason, because it helps us escape reality, helps us escape whatever problems we're going through, you know. Whether it was being abused as a child or whatever. There's a lot of people that have different reasons for being in there and suffering from addiction. Some of them, it was familial. They were brought up in that environment. They couldn't escape it. So it's just good for people to know out there that.
So they're doing it, they're escaping their reality.
Yes, absolutely.
Like we see the beer commercials on TV at the football games. I mean, they're escaping their reality, but the substance grabs a hold of your life, and you can't escape it on your own.
Exactly. Yep.
So there's a point in your life when you decided,
I've had enough. Yes, I've had enough. And
but it was good.
Bottom.
It was good at first.
Maybe.
Well, escape. You were able to escape what you were wanting to escape from. You felt good.
Oh yes, yes.
And then what happened?
And then you get wound up in it. And it doesn't feel good anymore. You get dependent on whatever substance it was that made you feel good, and then you don't know a way to get out of it until you find the right resources and support system to help you do that.
How long was your journey?
Oh, about 20 years. Yeah.
I bet you wish you had those 20 years back.
Yes and no. I learned a lot from it. And, you know, it is what it is. I can't take it back.
It's tough learning. God,
yeah,
everything's tough, isn't it?
It is, but I wouldn't be here now, and I wouldn't be doing the job that I do.
That you love, that makes you smile. You have a cool job, having people come into your living room and to offer them some help.
Yes.
Did people offer you programs?
They did, but I didn't also, if I would have known about MATS, or when it was MATS when I was going through my recovery phase, if I would have known about a place like Care Campus, I would have definitely utilized it, but I didn't know about it. And so that's why we are so happy to do things like this, so we can put it out there so that people.
And why didn't you know about it? People in the street didn't know about it? I mean, police officers didn't know about it, caseworkers weren't around. I mean, I hear, because I've done a number of shows of other organizations, they say, yeah, we go on the street, we pick them up in their shuttles and bring them for help, and we offer these programs. Aren't other programs in the community telling about the MATS program, or? Well,
when I was going through my addiction, ACS I don't even think was a thing yet, and they're starting to really trying to get things going in Albuquerque because it's such a bad situation. So I don't think all the resources necessarily were available that are now. Yeah, back then. So
which programs helped you?
Well, unfortunately, I got myself 2 DWIs, so I was court appointed to go to it was called the drug court back then. Now I believe it's now called DWI court. And so that's kind of a prerequisite for the job that I have. You had to have gone through addiction or gone through some kind of behavioral health process. And that is what got me clean, was being forced into the IOP and being.
What's IOP?
Intensive outpatient program. So that's, you do group counseling, individual counseling, all of that stuff, and it's court ordered. So I was on probation doing that.
But it was court ordered, but they say programs can only be successful if you accept them.
Exactly, and I didn't want to at first.
You did not because?
Because I was told to do it, and I just wasn't ready. And so I realized, look, I'm going to be here, and I'm going to have to do this, or I'm going to be in jail. So I had a nice come to Jesus with myself and said, look, you're going to need to take what you can get out of this program. And as long as you're willing to take what you can get out of the program and the resources people are trying to give you, you'll get through it. And that's finally what helped me.
So then you became accepting of the help. Well, you
Yes.
realized, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I had tried the AA thing and all the other stuff, and it just didn't work for me. And so being forced into it, it was awful at first, but I accepted it, and it worked.
And how long have you been clean?
9 years this year.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing your story with me
Thank you.
and with us
Thank you for letting me.
to understand better. What would you like to add and share with your experiences?
I would just say that we need more CPSWs. Having someone
And
with
that's
that
certified peer support worker.
yes, so that individual with that lived experience. Because how can you tell me what my issue is or tell me how to fix it if you've never been through it? Exactly. CPSWs are amazing individuals. They are amazing people, and they are the best ones to help you through it.
I agree. Well, I mean, we're not counselors by any means, but we do have to take a lot of the same trainings that they do. We have to take what's called CEUs. So we have to take all the same stuff that they do, but involved around addiction, really. And so it's good to have somebody that has the lived experience, not just the book experience, because sometimes as an individual going through addiction or trying to get into recovery, it feels very judgy when you're talking to somebody that does not have the actual experience themselves.
You don't like the judgment.
No.
No, I mean, nobody
Absolutely
does.
not. Nobody's going to want to get, that's not going to encourage anybody to get into recovery either if you're just coming at them from a book point. You know, like, I know what I learned in the books, but you don't know what it's like to actually live this life, so.
Now you're successfully employed by the
Yes.
county.
Yeah.
You're happy. Well, you always had a house.
Yes, and I've always been employed. I was a functioning alcoholic, but until I wasn't, you know, until I got the DWIs and was.
Did you think you were an alcoholic or just the DWIs?
No, I
forced you?
knew. I absolutely
did you?
knew. Yeah, yeah. I got all the preaching from my family and the
Oh.
judgy stuff and, you know,
Well, you
all the stuff that we go through with our families. But, you know, I'm on the other side of it now, so it's good. Yeah.
What would you like to share with people about alcohol?
Oh, I mean, well, it's one of the most deadly addictions. I mean, you can actually die from the withdrawals, where other drugs you don't necessarily die, but you get very.
Oh, I didn't know you died from withdrawals.
Oh, you can die from
Of alcohol.
withdrawals. Absolutely, yes. That's one of the biggest ones, and people don't think it is because you see alcohol everywhere you go. It's in the restaurants, it's in the gas stations, it's absolutely everywhere. You can get it anywhere. It's readily available, but it's one of the most dangerous, one of the hardest to beat.
It's one of the hardest to beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's so accepted by society. And I don't have a problem with people that drink. I just don't know how to do it in moderation. So I can't. I have to see it as I'm allergic to it. Yeah.
Well, you probably are.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
What else would you like to share as a Leah?
Just come to the living room.
Absolutely.
The best way to know about the program is to come experience it yourself.
So our viewers, they may know people, or can they drive down the street and tell them about the living room if you see people?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What would you suggest? Seriously, if you see them walking down 4th Street,
Just tell them, like,
because that's
hey.
a ways to go over to. I mean, are
Well,
they
the buses
people?
are free. The buses are free. Our program is free. They have nothing to lose.
Okay, what do you mean buses are free?
They don't have to pay to ride the bus.
What
All the
bus? City
buses-
bus?
Yes, the city
They're-
buses
they're
are all
free
free.
right now.
They just have to jump on the bus,
What do
get
you
off
mean
on
they're
Central.
free for everybody?
Yeah.
Yes,
Our city buses.
our city buses are completely free.
So you can just jump on and go.
Yes.
Okay, Anthony. I'm telling people here
A
at
field
4th
trip.
Street. Field trip. Take a tour. Well, you said it's very fun.
Yeah, it could be. Absolutely.
Oh, how
An
wonderful.
adventure.
An adventure. For this year, 2025, what are your hopes for this community, for Bernalillo County, for the Care Center?
I would say our hope is more resources, more understanding.
Better housing.
Oh, yes, a lot more housing. That's our hope for 2025, is getting things started that we desperately need.
Yes.
Will people go into the housing?
Definitely.
I thought we had a lot of housing where people weren't accepting the small housing and all that. I thought people weren't accepting the programs.
That's a different program. That's not our program.
What programs do you have?
We
regarding
have
housing?
our detox program, of course, our living room, our LEAD program, our observation assessment, our crisis stabilization.
Oh, but not a housing necessarily program.
Yeah, we don't have the housing program. We have our supportive aftercare, which is a lived-in program, but it's not permanent supportive housing, no.
Now, funding, isn't there part of our sales tax that goes right into this kind of program?
I believe it's from alcohol sales.
I think
Yeah.
that's right.
An additional, but you still need more. What would you use with this additional money for as Alaya?
If we had the additional money, I would say more beds, more staff, more beds.
Beds in what program?
All of our programs. If we can up our census in all of our programs and we have the staffing to do it, I think all of us there will be.
You don't
done
turn
well.
people away at this point, do you? I mean,
We do hit capacity.
Yeah, we're at capacity.
So our living room, we don't hit capacity because we don't have a capacity. But like in our programs like detox, we have 30 beds. So we do hit capacity. But that's why we opened our observation assessment so individuals can wait for a bed to open up.
and how long can they be in the observation assessment?
23 hours and
Just
59
23
minutes.
hours, but they're in detox for how long?
They're in detox for up to 10 days, but it is a voluntary program, so we have discharges and intakes all day, every day, and we're 24/7, so even in the middle of the night, we're taking people into detox.
Yes.
And then after detox, they can go into another program.
Yes.
I guess, great.
Yep.
Ooh, there's a lot to know, lot to,
Yes.
long process. I mean, sadly, kind of a long process getting into the situation, long to get out. How many people can be at your living room?
I think right now it goes up to 10 at a time, but they, again, just like
and
that,
going.
it goes in and out.
Yeah.
They go in and out.
They're in
so.
and out, so we're constantly bringing people in, people are walking
Woo,
out, more
it's
people
a lot
are
of
coming
activity.
in.
Yeah,
lot of
as
activity.
somebody's walking out, there's guaranteed to be somebody walking
Rosa
in.
Sunshine Bias, thank you so much. Certified peer support worker, thank you for sharing your story with us. Appreciate that, and appreciate all you're doing for our community.
Of course.
And Azalea Echeverria Alcala, Program Supervisor, the Department of Behavioral Health. You got a big job.
A fun job.
Oof. It's a challenge.
Yes.
Again, stigma with behavioral health problems, right? But it's an illness like so many others.
Yes.
Except people don't understand it as we do.
Exactly.
We understand cancer, we don't understand behavioral health. That's not their choice. Thanks, KCHF TV and Issues and Answers, for bringing you information that affects all of our lives and our community for a better understanding. Because they're not the addict, there's a person behind that, and we'll take that to heart and understand it better. And remember, you can shout out your window, go to the living room, take the bus. Thanks for watching. I'm Diane Kinderwater. Make it a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program, email us at info@kchftv.org or call us at 505-345-1991. Join us again for Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater.